Everything we've done's led up to right now. Right now. Because legacy are full of legends. You can become a legend today, boys. Put your stamp on history. Put your stamp on a legacy. It is going to take all of us. All of us. Men, be not afraid. Do not be afraid to be a legend.
Welcome to OPA Podcast, episode 21. My name is Jason. I have a man crush on Antoine Winfield Jr. O.
My name is Larranz. I guess Florida State isn't stealing our coach, Guider.
My name is Wyatt. 7 more years. Oelkers.
And we are your hosts for OPA Podcast tonight. Griffin is unfortunately at the men's basketball game. Go Coach Patino and our Gopher team playing right now. I think they're up, last I checked, 40-21. So, cool.
We like that energy.
Yep. Rip Coach Whalen's women's basketball team falling 69-77.
I don't want to say it's still a nice score. I'm sorry.
Oh. So we're going to first get started with Coach PJ Fleck and his new 7-year contract extension. So some details here. So PJ will be getting a new salary of $4.6 million a year, which will increase by $50,000 for every season. So by 2026, he'll have $4.9 million. But the buyout is the major key thing. So if he does leave after this season, it's a $10 million buyout. After that is $4.5 million. And then in 2022 is $3 million till 2023. And then $2 million after that. Plus a few other incentives.
All right. Well, take that, Florida State.
And another good perk, so they will be, or in the clause under the new contract, they will be giving up to, I believe, $1.05 million for salaries for his assistant coaches in 2020, and another $200,000 available for their increases in 2021. So his assistants will also be getting a hefty salary increase as well, and they deserve it.
Well, we gonna see. They this weekend they gonna earn their paychecks because the preseason is over.
For sure. So then this begs the question for me. What do you guys see in this contract in the long term?
I'm gonna turn to Wyatt on this one.
You're going to turn to me.
I'm gonna turn to you, Wyatt.
What do I see from this contract in the long term? It feels like at this point, every year we're getting a contract extension. That's just kind of a thing that we do now. What this tells me is that he will be here next year. And that we are trying to make it harder for him to go anywhere else.
That's true.
For me, at least it's not a life contract.
Yeah. They didn't put that Kirk Ferentz, Pat Fitzgerald contract on him.
Yep. But this is how I see it. I see PJ being here, a couple more years. But I do see him one day leaving Minnesota for another job. And some Gopher fans I've been talking to has sort of disagreed with me on that notion that, PJ's going to stay however long he wants. The thing is, if he's successful and builds a sustainable culture, I think he will move on to another program and rebuild it from the ground up. Because I think it's feasible.
I don't think he will. And here's the reason why. And I said, if he didn't leave before we got this contract extension, if he didn't leave, it would have been for this purpose. How many schools? And I mean, there's not too many places that you can go to and you're going to be like, it's such a step up for Minnesota that it will be worth leaving. But how many of those schools would let him put his brand all over them? Try putting row the boat on Notre Dame. Try putting row the boat on USC. Like, they have their own brands that are so strong that it just wouldn't work. And then the second thing is, we are currently in the Big Ten West, which is to say, like, if he builds a monster, he could dominate this side of the division for years. So what would be the purpose? Like, where would you go that would be able to have this sustainable dominance that you could in the Big Ten West? My theory is, if ever there's conference realignment, and say we get like a Michigan on this side, or Penn State, or maybe even a Notre Dame once they finally decide to join a conference, that's when I'm afraid that he'll be like, okay, bye, I'm going to the Pac-12 now.
And when is the next realignment? Is that anytime soon?
I don't think it's going to happen.
Well, the only way I see it happening is if, for some reason, Notre Dame says we need to join a conference, and we want that conference to be the Big Ten.
Nah, man. ACC.
That's
I mean, if
I'm saying it's a two-step thing. Notre Dame has to want to join a conference, and Notre Dame.
I mean, if Notre Dame
be
joins,
Big Ten.
they definitely join the West.
Notre Dame joins the West.
Who gets kicked out?
Yeah, kick out Rutgers.
Oh, hell no.
Who moves east?
Purdue moves to the east.
Is
And
Purdue
then-
really east of Notre Dame?
Does it really matter? Only because then the Purdue-Indiana rivalry
Isn't
will
protected.
instantly be a protected rivalry. And then Notre Dame, because Purdue doesn't really have like rivals in the West. They really don't. So yeah, then Purdue and Indiana can have a protected rivalry. And then probably in the West, you would and then end up having protected rivalries with Notre Dame and Michigan, Notre Dame and Michigan State. Because I know this current alignment, they're gonna, if a Western Division team does not win the Big Ten championship within 3 years, they're going to realign it. Like,
Because it's just
the West has been a joke, though. Come on.
how do you do it in a way that is conducive to competitive conferences? Do you go back to leaders and legends?
I don't know. Maybe you do new kids on the block and
You can't do a north-south
home.
split.
Couldn't you?
That doesn't work.
Well,
Because guess who's in the north?
who?
Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, Michigan State, probably Ohio State.
You do it based off of
And the two Illinois.
Can we do it based off of which states were founded as states first? So like the old home folks home and the quote unquote new kids on the block? Or can we do a Republican Democrat split?
Well, then where do you put Ohio?
They will have a
They get their own
switch
conference.
off. They'll have a switch off every year. 1 year they'll be,
Oh my god.
or rather they'll have a
Also,
switch off
how do
every
you
4
deal
years.
with the issue of Nebraska?
Or we could just kick Nebraska out. I mean,
Well, you're not wrong.
or better yet, actually, no. you kick out Rutgers. Screw no, we don't want not Notre Dame. Kick out Rutgers and bring in either Pittsburgh or Iowa State because Iowa State is basically a Big Ten team playing in the Big 12, and then Pittsburgh, I don't know, make Penn State happy. So that's my opinion on it. Yeah.
So next
It's
up,
really hard to talk about realignment without knowing for sure what's going to happen.
yeah.
Barring any changes in the composition of the Big Ten, I don't see realignment. I don't.
So some more Penn State game details for this Saturday. So it's 11 a.m. kickoff on ABC, courtesy of ESPN. And then the spread and the over-under is out. So the spread is favoring Penn State by 7, and the over-under is 47.5.
That seems low.
Okay. Not really.
47.5?
I don't
They're basically
think
saying
that's
it's going to
low.
be a 27-20 football game. Or 20.
Yeah, that's about right to me.
Well, I did predict we lose 24-23. So
That's
No,
gutsy.
because Minnesota will not win this game if it's a shootout. It's not gonna happen. The only way that Minnesota would even have a shot is if it is an ugly Minnesota Iowa type game.
It's going to be ugly. Because Penn State doesn't really seem to be playing shootout football right now.
No, they don't, because and this is the one thing I'll say, like, Penn State is not Ohio State, okay? Ohio State is like the Terminator 2. Perfect, and Penn State is the Terminator 3. Okay, but kind of forgettable. Still overpowered, but I think, like, anyone who's saying we're going to be blown out by Penn State hasn't been paying attention. Anyone who thinks we're going to blow out Penn State has not been paying attention.
It's
I
going
think
to be
this,
a close football game. I agree with you there.
yeah, I just don't, with what Penn State has on defense, I do not know how anyone expects us to score a ton of points. I just don't see it. That is the end of my rant.
how about another rant? We can't seem to
Uh-oh.
fill our stadium for this game.
Oh.
Like, I'm checking on the Gopher Sports ticketing website because they have a color chart if like there's available seats or not. So far they're in the about a quarter is at the gray, so it means that there's no seats available, but there's still a lot of light maroon where they have limited seats left in the remaining parts of the stadium. It's not sold out.
I need to get a ticket. I need to figure out my student ticket stuff first.
Oh.
Oh.
I don't have an account for student tickets. Because
Ask-
I never needed one.
Big sad.
Ask another student. Because apparently they get a free person.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah, someone else with season tickets. That's what I did.
What? I don't know that I know an undergrad who wouldn't be in the band.
No, it doesn't have to be an undergrad. Because they offer the same student season ticket packages for alumni 3 to 4 years after they graduate too.
Ask Rants. Alex Rants. Ask him. I know he has season tickets.
So you can check with some of our fellow seniors that graduated with us last year. They may have something.
I'm bringing along a couple of law school buddies.
Oh.
They
had
got
to-
tickets?
They got tickets.
Yeah, get you a ticket, homie.
I'm gonna get me a ticket. I'll be fine.
All right, all right, all right. But Larranz, we were talking off air on the group chat that now it made me confused as you as well and all of us. So like, can you please explain what was confusing all of us with the situation with the ticket sales?
Okay. Here's the thing, and I want to make it clear that I understand that the tickets are expensive and things of that nature, and I fully understand that, it's going to be an early game and it's going to be cold, sure. Here's my issue. There has been one other time in the history of the Big Ten where two 8-0 Big Ten teams met at this point late in the season. It has never happened in the history of Minnesota football in general, not even trying to mention the fact that we are currently 8-0. And that this is, without a doubt, the most important game in TCF Bank Stadium history, and some might argue the TCU game of our freshman year, but bull crap. This game is far more important. If you take literally any other fan base in the country, save maybe like Wake Forest, this shit would have been sold out like a month ago. We are really doing a disservice to this team and frankly making it a lot easier for Penn State. This is not the big house. This is not Memorial Stadium in Lincoln, Nebraska. We have 50,000 seats. And Minnesota can't sell out 50,000 seats. That's sad. That is Northwestern-esque. And I'd like to think our fan base is better than Northwestern, but who knows? Maybe I'm giving our fan base a little bit too much credit. That is the end of my rant.
The one thing I'll rant about, so I've been following a lot of tweets and following a lot of the, hardcore Gopher fans that, tweet a lot on the Twitter. And they're season ticket holders. They're going as far as to use their season ticket holder discount to get those seats filled. And like,
are you kidding me?
I am not joking. Nadine, a nice person named Nadine, and many others, even former Gophers that have season tickets as well, are doing the same thing, and that makes me honestly sad that even our own season ticket holders and very outspoken members of the Minnesota Twitter community has to do that.
We are literally begging people to come. How is this happening? Seriously, this is the type of stuff that I was afraid would get PJ taken away. People complain about things like recruiting. Why can't we recruit better? One of the big things, let me give you an example. Caden Johnson, the number one recruit in the state of Minnesota, one of the top things he put in his reasoning for what would have him choose one school over another was the frickin' crowd. What is the stadium atmosphere like? And on the biggest game in a century, we're having trouble filling this thing up. Our alumni, our boosters are having to give discounts, and it's still not working. Wisconsin is making fun of us on Twitter, and they should be making fun of us on Twitter. I would be making fun of us on Twitter if I was a Wisconsin fan, or really any other fan in the Big Ten. Because this is sad. Truly. Truly sad.
Also, there's not many major events either. Like men's hockey is out of town, so is women's hockey. I don't think there's much for basketball, maybe in the evening. But in terms of Gopher Sport, like our revenue sports, not much is going on besides football and basketball. And the Vikings are out of town.
You'd think we'd be able to fill the stadium.
Like, low key, I think we will have like the amount of fans in the stands this Saturday comparable to what we had at the start of the season when South Dakota State came, around 48,000. That's what I think we're hitting this game. I don't think we will hit 50,000 or more.
That's sad. That is... We're getting to the point where a really, really good Texas high school might have more fans show up. Like, that is what Minnesota has become. And for anyone who has like the cynicism towards PJ or towards this team or whatever, and thinks we haven't played anyone and they don't want to waste their time, it's crap like this that is like not only a season defining game, because look, we can win this game and we still would be in the driver's seat in the Big Ten West. That's fine. But this isn't just a season-defining game. This is a, program-deciding game. I don't think people are seeing the bigger picture, but they will still complain when we lose this game. That's what upsets me.
Man, they're just not enjoying the ride, and that... They can't be happy that we're already bowl eligible, going into a better bowl. We're 13th ranked in the country. We're 8-0 since 1941. We're 5-0 since 1961 or 62, whenever that era was with Murray Warmath. Why can't they just be happy that with this?
We should not have to be ranting about this right now. That's... We should not. This shouldn't even be a thing. We should be like, oh yeah, we got a full stadium here, and we might get a "We Are Penn State" chant. That's how bad this crappy is.
And you can hear it on a field because those Penn State fans are more rowdy than Minnesota fans.
Oh. That is correct.
No, just watch. They're going to show up in white and have their own little whiteout at TCF Bank Stadium, and we're going to lose.
And you know what? And if they do, we deserve it. Minnesota deserves it.
I'm gonna say this. You know how we were talking last episode about would you rather scenarios for Minnesota? If we go to the Big Ten championship, I bet your ass we're going to have less than 30,000 fans in Lucas Oil. It's going to be pathetic.
Yeah, we'll have more fans than Northwestern did, and I think that's a plus.
Oh.
And to be fair, Lucas Oil, we are the second farthest team from Lucas Oil?
About 9 hours?
Rutgers might be farther too.
Your point?
Maryland is definitely farther. But
what are you trying to
if
say,
you look at the teams who have a real chance of playing in that game this year, we are by far and away the farthest from Lucas Oil Stadium. So of course we would have less fans.
But it's the Big Ten Championship, which we haven't been to for 52 years. Wait, what's the math? Did I get that wrong?
I don't even think we had a Big Ten Championship game 52 years ago.
True.
No, this would be a first time in school history. I th- this shouldn't be an argument that we are having. Like when you're going, Jason Wyatt, if you are going to a recruit, like a thoroughbred 4-star recruit, and you're trying to sell them on Minnesota, and they ask you, well, what's the environment like? And you say, we're getting there. We're really trying to like create this culture, blah, blah, blah. And then they go to freaking Camp Randall. Who would you rather go to?
I hate to say it, Wisconsin and Camp
E-
Randall.
Exactly. Same thing if you went and you visited Nebraska. There's a reason they took our number one recruit last year. There's a reason they are trending to take our number one recruit this year. Minnesota fans have done it to this team for so long. The cynicism has just like, ugh.
It's a
It
hot
has
mess, like way worse than a hot mess.
like, and it's not like we've been Rutgers. I'm sure Rutgers
Well,
fans don't even know. They don't even know where their stadium is.
Rutgers students get their tickets for free. That's how bad of a football team Rutgers is.
And still no one shows up, which, like, duh. Like, why would you?
Sorry, to the marching Scarlet Knights. You don't deserve this.
You really don't. And you know what? Minnesota doesn't deserve this either. And I am looking forward to the day. Now, look, I don't want us to become Nebraska fans. I don't need this to be what am I trying to say? A cult following where if we're 3-8, we're gonna have a sellout crowd. No, I don't expect that. But I mean, if you're going to play a game that's happened, well, arguably the most important game that's happened in 50 years, this shouldn't be an issue. This shouldn't be something where it's an argument. This is stupid that we have to argue about this. Ugh.
It really is. So I think that concludes our rant about the current hot mess of Gopher football's fan base. Other than that, any takes?
Oh, and also currently, if you all are interested, that's all I'm saying on SG1 Sports Big Ten Football. They are currently streaming the simulation between Penn State and Minnesota. Currently, there are 7. Minnesota is up 10-3, but Penn State is driving. So, and the simulation has been relatively accurate these last few weeks. So, that's all I'm saying.
Cool. Well, we're going to probably end it here today on this podcast. So I'd like to thank all our listeners for listening in more or less a rant for this upcoming Penn State game. But don't get us wrong, we're excited. I totally am. I'm pumped up. Haven't been to a game like this, I think, ever. So I'm going to cherish every moment, soak it in, and get on the damn field and play to my heart's content. Also, salute to our current veterans and active military members, as it is our military appreciation game as well. So thank you for serving our country.
Can I expect to see minstrel turns this weekend?
You will be seeing counter marching and something that's not minstrel turns, but something interesting.
Okay, I look forward to it.
And Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy.
Oh, get it.
Yep. So again, to all our fans, my name is Jason.
I'm Wyatt.
I'm Larranz. Make this a respectable game, Guider.
And we'll see y'all next time. And
Oh.